Hello friends, happy Friday. I just got done filming another podcast. So I want you to know if you want to find my podcast, I'm really intentional about highlighting community members here in Somerville, which is where I live. It's where my office is. Even though my work takes me throughout the Tri-County area, I do like to showcase the business owners. Right now I'm highlighting the people that are running for the town of Somerville mayor. So that's what I've been doing this morning. But make sure to go onto YouTube to That SC Real Estate Chick, or you can even search me by name and click the little bell to make sure that you are notified when I have new podcasts or really anything that drops onto YouTube, because that's where all of my videos remain. But it's just fun to showcase houses and showcase people, and this is a community that we live in here in town, and so I try to take my free time outside of the transactions and really bring value to you. So thank you for those that are watching and listening to those podcasts. If you're a podcast viewer or listener, you can also listen to them on any of your platforms. Whatever platform you listen to your podcast, I do stream onto all of the different various platforms for podcasts. So you can find me by searching my name and For the Love of Real Estate is how it's titled. All right, so what has been happening in real estate this week? Listen, I pulled the stats from the same 4 weeks in 2022 versus 2023. And there are only, in the last 4 weeks of sales activity, we're 20 sales off from last year. That's where we are in our market right now. So we are paralleling right now sales production from 2022. Now, as we know, the first half of 2022 kind of was the end of the crazy market as we knew it, and it started trailing off as interest rates started climbing. This year has been more or less flat with sales, with interest rates that have, as they've continued to climb, our values have continued to stay about flat. So make sure that as you're listening to the media and the different news sources, of course, a lot of that is in national numbers, but here locally, let me be your guide in telling you what our market is doing. And we are sitting right where we were in 2022 for the same buying activity this time of the year. So I found that to be interesting. We had 279 total sales. Median sales price for those was $417. Out of the 7 sales that happened in Mount Pleasant, I want you to know that every single sale that happened in Mount Pleasant was over $1 million. So if you're a Mount Pleasant buyer, or if you know of somebody that's wanting to move here, you gotta more or less show me the money, because it is a heavy price tag that comes with that side of town. So all the sales in Mount Pleasant this past week were over $1 million. But here's another interesting thing. 40% of those 279 sales were here in Dorchester Berkeley County. So the majority of the sales, or a large portion of the sales, are right here where I serve very much with buying and selling. And so, of course, then the rest of it's dispersed. The rest of those sales have been dispersed throughout Johns Island, James Island, down coastal regions, Charleston, West Ashley, Hanahan. I guess Hanahan's in Berkeley County for the most part, but Park Circle area, all of that would be outside. They all share the rest of those transactions, but 40% of the sales in the last week have been right here in Dorchester Berkeley County. I do continue to watch the foreclosures and bank-owned sales, because that really is a temperature read as to what our market is doing. If people are being forced out of their homes and forced, it really just the economy is, if the economy goes south and people lose jobs, then a lot of times they end up foreclosing or having to short sell their properties. But only in the last year, we've been sitting at either 0, and I think the most that we've seen in any given week were 2 bank-owned or short sales, and right now we're at 4. So we are seeing a little bit of an uptick in that number, but I'm going to be watching that to see if that sustains. But still, 4 out of 280 sales is not hardship, a lot of hardship situations. Of course, my feelings and thoughts go out to anybody that has to be put into that position to lose their home, to go back to the bank, but it's a very, very small percentage in our marketplace that are hardship sales. So just interesting. I watch these numbers, I study the market, I care about what happens here, not only for my livelihood because I invest, but also because I am looking for opportunities to advise my clients and those that use me as their trusted realtor, to be able to advise them what to do and when's the best time to sell, when's a good time to buy, and looking at investment opportunities as well. So if you're looking at buying and selling, let me know. If you just want to know what your house's value is, please do not trust Zillow to give you that number. I have an awesome resource. It's called HomeBot. It's like Zillow on steroids. It's a much more comprehensive idea, and I can send that to you. All I need is your email address if I don't already have it, and I'll put you into that system, and it's just adding value to your knowledge base. So let me know how I can assist you. Have a wonderful weekend, and I'll see you again next week.